Now this is exactly what I want to see for the final round versus Jack versus Yuya. I know it was only a couple of days ago that I even talked about the last kind of episode that we had, but you know what? This is exactly what I kind of meant by the whole translation thing. It's like, hey man, we have to deal with this kind of situation kind of every time when it comes to certain series like this. And I'm like, you know what? They kind of have to deal with this stuff all the time. And I've got to say, with the whole coming out with the new cards, because I definitely want to talk about that Tyrant Dragon in this episode of Arc V. So leaving it off on last episode when we got to see Scarlet Dragon using its effect, destroying all the security guys, all their monsters, and it was like, oh dear god, he just inflicted 8,500 points of damage, Jesus Christ. So everyone in this entire duel right now that trying to join in is getting blown up, going whoa, flying off everywhere, and I'm like, well, that's what you get for fucking joining in and trying to fuck with Jack Atlas and Yuya's duel. You don't fuck with these guys. And luckily he managed to avoid this whole situation by using one of the action cards to get rid of it. And then I believe he also used, I believe it was the effect that he had on his two pendulum monsters. I know one negates battle destruction once per turn, although you still take the damage, which ended up Yuya, after everything that happened, it was oh, you're gonna end up having fucking just tons of fucking issues with this situation. Oh, you gotta deal with this, you gotta deal with that, you gotta have all your monsters, and even with the effect damage as well. He had the other pendulum monster that we got to see by getting rid of it from the pendulum scale. It was actually able to negate effect damage. I'm like, okay, that's pretty goddamn clever. And he's even with the entirety of his entire roster coming out, and he was able to bring back the Time Swords Magician. He had a Life Sword Magician. He had a Tuner one. Even after all of them, they all came out, and I was like, that's pretty clever. He was able to do that, and he was able to deal a bit of damage to Jack after everything. And it was even bringing out the Enlightenment Paladin coming out, and it was yeah, let's go fuck him up, let's deal some damage, and he was able to protect him using that Pendulum Monster's effect, and it's oh, this is the point. And whilst this was going on, which I kind of Rayra, everyone else, from all the Lancers, they were going out to stop the Commons going absolutely ballistic because they were still fucking people up. Meanwhile, when we got into the main top line of security, we did get to see Sora and all them, and now they just rescue Yuzu. So I'm everything is going around pacingly is going nicely throughout the entirety of this, and it's coming out with a fucking pendulum monster summon, which was so badass, which was in the Cheer Mole, which I think was a level 2, including as well with the fucking 8, and it was calling, he realized I need to find out my own dueling. It's I've learned everything from all the people I've been dueling from this all the time, and it's here I am and all that. It's I'm going to bring this out, and this tuner monster is wait a minute, but you haven't got a tuner monster on the field, how can you summon this thing? It's this is a special thing, so when you got a pendulum summoned pendulum monster and a synchro monster out here, then you're able to do this and make the synchro summon without even using a tuner monster. So I'm utilizing the whole tuner ability that he has, and also as well with the pendulum, so it worked really well. However though, compared to this monster from what we got to see, it's it was actually it was a kind of cool design. I think it was Nirvana, Nirvana High Paladin, I believe it was called. It had 3,300 attack points. It was a fucking powerhouse. Let's not get that out of the way, but it's compared to what fucking Jack Atlas brought out, I'm sorry, but this thing was a scrub compared to what Jack, because Jack was loving it. He was yeah, I fucking love this monster. And then bringing out a trap card, it was I'm gonna bring out this tuner monster out of it and all that. And it's he managed to negate the destruction of the a trap card and bring it out, as a tuner monster. That was really cool. And then he brought out another tuner monster. I was oh shit, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do we did. He had 2 tuner monsters. He's gonna do synchro summon, and he does. And what was the one, people noticed as well with that nod, what you got to see when he was doing this, the synchro summon, and you got to see the 5D's dragon come out as well. I thought that was really cool. I was that's a really good nod. That's a really good reference. It's hey guys, just to remind you where he came from. And even he did this with the special double tuning that he had. He did that, and then also, well, jump off the fucking bridge part of it, and he was fuck it, I'm just gonna fly. And Red Demon Tyrant Dragon, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit of a stickler for when it comes to dragons in these, that's why I kind of the 5D's dragons design. But Red Demon Tyrant Dragon is a really cool fucking design, and he's generally badass, and oh my god, his effects, oh my god, they are so fucking strong. Like, this is the thing, though. It's like, it's going to be a hard time. If this comes out of the TCG and he has the same rules, it's like, it is going to be a hard time getting them out. Because you have to bring out a level 8, then you have to bring out 2 tutor monsters as well, coming into this, when there are other, like, kind of decks that work really well. I'm sure some people are going to have that. And it's like, when his effect, once per turn, this is it, once per turn, you're allowed to destroy every single card on the field except him, including pendulums, including everything on the field, so that he stands left. He's a 3500 attack point monster, I have to remind you. And then also as well, if your opponent tries to activate a spell or a trap card, like apparently he can negate it and then get 500 more extra attack points. I'm like, so even if you come up with something out of your ass and stuff, it's like, the only thing that's actually going to fuck him over is effects, which is like, don't forget, effects are goddamn strong, but when you've lost everything on your field, and like, he's like, oh, you're going to have to quickly use this quickly, it's like, the only way to really get around this monster is that you've got to negate the actual summon itself. Unless it's a monster, like, there are certain monsters where it's like, this monster cannot be, like, its effect, like, its summon cannot be, like, negated or anything. Like, that's the only thing I can really think of that you can really do about it. And it's like, okay. I like how he was able to, like, come around with it, and in the end, like, where he, like, even though I loved it, he's like, the fucking Inferno, he just punches the fucking road, and it just blows up. And it's just like, everything's fucking gone, everything's flying. I'm like, oh shit. Like, and even with that, it's like, you like, kept just cool. It's like, yeah, Nirvana, one of his special ability, he gets to go into the Pendulum Zone once he's destroyed. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool, I like that. And even with, like, the fact that he had, like, I believe it was, like, another monster, it was, like, this, I think it was, like, Trick Magician or something like that. It was, like, a different kind of monster, like, because, like, I think it was, like, he tried to use an action card, it didn't work, and it's like, oh, when a magic card gets negated, I can special summon this Entame, and use him to, like, do that. And also as well, when he's destroyed, he goes straight into the Pendulum Scale, and then he drawed, after all this time, he was able to draw, like, his Odd Eyes, and he just brings back all the warriors. It's like, all the fucking 5 warriors. He's like, Odd Eyes, like, all your magicians, like, everyone, get here right now. And it was like, it was very well animated from what we got. So I think it was like, he brought back just so many monsters. It was just like, 3 to 7. I was like, that's what we want to fucking see. And it's like, so, like, Nirvana, like, he kind of works well on the deck. He's near, like, impossible to summon. Like, that's the kind of thing with, like, these decks and all that. It's like, they're very powerful cards, but don't forget, they are kind of hard to summon at the same time, like, pulling all this stuff out there. And I hope, like, Nirvana's thing isn't like, yo, you need, like, a level 2, like, Entame monster. I just hope it's a level 2 in general. To, like, with that, like, like, as long as it's a pendulum. Like, he brought back the horse, he brought back the dog, he brought back Odd Eyes came into field, he brought that Time Sword Magician, and then I believe it was, like, the Lamb one he brought back as well. I was like, all the warriors, and I'm like, if they up it up one more time, and he brings, like, a Synchro Dragon into it, like, Odd Eyes Synchro Dragon, that would be really sick, because that's still a little weird thing that I know the designs are already out, and I know the cards, I think, is out already in, like, the OCG, like, for the, I think it's, like, Tempest Dragon or something, like, Odd Eyes. I know there's an Odd Eyes Synchro monster out there, but it's, like, the fact that he's able to bring that out, and it's, like, we haven't seen anything, like, that in the trailer, because, like, in the last one, we did get to see Nirvana, so maybe they might be building that up, I don't know. But it definitely seems like the next week is going to be the last episode, because Yuya's already at 100 life points, and, like, Jack is about, like, what, 3,500, I believe he's at. So it's like, what is it he's going to do? He's going to, like, blow up that dragon, he's going to deal some damage to him, and it's like, I am looking forward to seeing what he's got, because he literally just brought everyone back. You're going to see Smile World, so obviously the attack is going to be raised. There's going to be some attacking from Tyrant Sword, and, like, all this happening, and I'm like, even with the whole thing as a security thing getting destroyed by Sora and them, like, after all that, it seems like it's pretty much, yeah, this is like, we're now really wrapping up this arc, and that's a kind of nice thing, because we're now at that point where it's like, episode, like, 90, I believe, like, that what they're probably going to do is, like, they're going to fully maybe end this arc at, like, maybe 99, maybe at, like 100, I imagine, that's all, and maybe 100 starts the next arc, but it's like, this is a good time to, like, really finish it off, and I'm kind of really excited because I'm looking forward to hearing the new opening, but then as well as, like, I really don't want to, like, say goodbye to, like, Kirithura, like, Trump card, because that is such a good opening. Other than that, I thought this was a really great episode. This was really a step above. This is what we should be seeing from this Jack Atlas fight, and just, I'm sorry, but Tyrant Dragon is so fucking cool. Like, I love that. Like, I'm not like a stickler for CGI for the most of the time in the monsters, but Tyrant Dragon has a really badass design, and I just love, just punch the fucking road, just blow it up like that. I love that. That is so fucking cool in my mind. It's just, fuck the road, fuck you, Yuya, fuck everyone that's coming on here, let me blow this shit out. It's just, That card is so fucking OP. Destroys all cards, negates a magic attract card. That's what I want to see. I want to see him one-upping one another, and that's like definitely like next episode I'm looking forward to. It's a shame that we gotta wait like a week for it, because I really am looking forward to the finale of this arc. So, and we finally might be able to get some explanation a little bit more on Jack and finding out a little bit more about him, because I'm kind of curious about that. But kind of his whole model of like, you know, true duelist, I've been kind of appreciate that. And kind of see where that goes as well, because we still got the other characters to see. Like, we had been confirmed that we're going to be getting the ZL characters and the GX characters, and it's just like, whew, there's just so much to talk about, and I'm kind of glad I got it out in this episode, and I'm kind of glad that I'm reviewing the series again, because it's like, with episodes especially like this is what I want to feel, because like, animation was really on point on this one. I really did like that. Even the CGI was badass with like the Red Demon Tyrant Dragon. That was a really badass, like, that is a really good design. Like, I love that design a lot. Even Noverna Paladin, I was like, it's like, compared to like, you get Noverna Paladin, I'm like, okay, he's pretty solid, but then you get fucking Tyrant Dragon, and he just curve stomps. He just curve stomps. I love it. I love it. And I was never a big fan of like Red Dragon Archdemon at all, like when that came out. But Red Demon Dragon Starlight, I loved him, and I love Tyrant Dragon. I think they're like really cool like versions of it. But that's all from me. So I'm gonna give this one a solid 8. I think it was a great episode. So let me know what you think in the comments section down below. And if you love Yu-Gi-Oh as much as I do, whether it be the anime, the manga, the show, like, because like, there's just so much stuff to enjoy, then how about you hit that like, subscribe, all that good stuff down below. That's all from me though, so I've been Savagezweipanda, and thank you very much for watching as always, and I'll see you guys next time.